Welcome to another Reltio community show. My name is Chris Detzel, and we do have a special guest today, Girish Kalburgi. I was trying to get the last name, Girish. He is an advanced customer engineer, and our show is UI configuration self-service. I'm really excited to get this show going today. So the rules, as usual, please keep yourself on mute. All questions should be asked in chat, and/or please take yourself off mute and then ask that question as usual. And we will have this, this show is being recorded today, and it will be posted as usual to the Reltio community. I'll push that link directly into the site today, or into the chat later. So we do have some upcoming events. So today we have the Reltio show around UI configuration self-service. Next week, we have one on natural language processing text representations in MDM. Should be a very interesting one. And then there's a lot of them. So moving data in and out of Reltio, it's a cakewalk, which I always said walking on cake is easy, but trying to walk on cake without breaking the cake, I don't think that's easy. And then machine learning based matching. And then we do have a customer coming on from it's called Reltio Integration Hub, with Sajid Sayed at Advara. And then lastly, we actually have one that I am excited about. Is on August 25th, using Reltio Integration Hub to automate Reltio workflows. So lots of really good shows coming up that I'm excited about, and hopefully you are too. Just go to community.reltio.com/events, and you can RSVP to those events. I'm going to stop sharing, Girish, and give this over to you.
Yep, thank you, Chris. I'll start sharing my screen. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen.
That's important.
Yep.
Voila.
Yeah, hope it's visible.
It is.
The presentation. Okay. Thank you, Chris, again. Good morning and good evening, everyone. This is Girish Kalburgi from Advanced Customer Engineering team. Thank you all for joining. Today, we are going to go through the UI self-service configuration service. It's our community show. And so let's get started. So let me just walk through the agenda today. So the agenda here is today to go through the dashboard self-service. This complete session is all about the self-service capability that we are offering from Reltio end. And then the first aspect of it is the dashboard self-service, and the second aspect of it is the UI modeler import bar export configurations. So all this is kind of a self-service where earlier customer used to rely on Reltio to do that service for the customers, but now it is all the self-service. So let's get started. So coming to the first module that I was talking about, which is basically the dashboard self-service capability. So as we know, like as soon as we land on the Reltio login page, we would be landing on the dashboard page or on the search page, depends on the configuration. And what we see here previously, I will have this term, two different terms. One is called as a classic view, and one is called as a new view. It is basically a classic dashboard view versus a new dashboard view. In the classic dashboard view, the things were, let us understand first like why this was even launched, or why the self-service capability was even in place. So what was happening previously is the dashboard page that we see on the right. This is a new dashboard page, but the existing or the classic dashboard page was kind of a static where the customers were unable to change it for themselves. It was not self-serviced and it was not personalized. When I say personalized, it means like a user one can see a screen in a different way than a user two. But for the classic view, it used to be the same for everyone. So for that purpose, we had multiple feedbacks from our customer to implement something which is more user-friendly, an advanced one, and here it is. So it is basically the dashboard self-service capability, which is a new service that was launched back in 2021.3. back in October, November last year. And it has been greatly used by our customer. And so today we are just going through the demo to understand that how this service works and how this is a self-service capability, right? So as we see here, so it's completely a new dashboard, a new user experience when they log into the UI. We have used the vivid colors. So going on with the current trend in the market, we are using the vivid colors for all the things that we display throughout the dashboard. So what is this used for? So the feature wise, as I said, like these are all personalized. The layouts can be changed. It can be resized and it can be moved across different facets. So based on the user preference. So customer can choose different types of charts. Currently we support like 9 different charts. In the demo, I would certainly show all those different charts that we support, and let's see a demo as well. And in case you have any questions, you can stop me and we can answer that. So as I said, like first thing is the layout. The second thing is charts. Multiple charts are supported and these can be resized and positions. So this is what the high level overview of this one. So I will be less on the PPT and more on the demo. So feel free if you are having any questions. So I will jump on to the demo. As I said, like let's first understand how the classic UI looked like before. So herein I'm just using 2 different tabs and 2 different tenants for a faster or more effective way of this demo. So this is how a new UI looks like. So as you see, this is how the new UI is, but let's understand how the classic UI looked like, right? So this is our classic UI. This is what used to be there before the release. And if you see this particular UI, like we cannot change anything over here. It's kind of a static page. It does display the data. It does display it accurately, but we cannot customize these facets. Like all these, we cannot customize it. This is what the classic view is. So how can customer change from a classic view to a new view? So to answer that, like everything is already in place. No need to raise any tickets. No need to do any modifications or update to any of the configuration. So everything is already in place. So what we have to do is simply once we log into a profile, we just need to click on the user here on the right top corner, go to the manage view preference. And once we see this, there are different features that we offer, right? So all these facets or the pages have been enhanced to a new view. But today we are concentrating on the dashboard. So what we can do is just click on this and hit the save button, which ultimately what happens is it redirects us to a new view. Okay, so let's see that new view. So this is how the view looks like. It's a new view. So let me just change this for the demo purpose and let's switch back to the demo tenant. So this is the demo tenant. So this tenant, as I said, like this is how the profile statistic view looks like, right? So as you can see the the features prospective. So we can resize any of the stats. These are all customer specifics, and anything and everything that you see can be kind of moved around, and it is all user dependent. So let's move on to understand how this can be customized, right? So first thing is we have this profile page, dashboard page where we can see everything here, but we need administrator or configurators or someone from the configuration team or with the required access to configure this. It's a default configuration. So let's understand how that can be done, right? So it can be done through the UI modeler, where how we can navigate to the UI modeler. It's basically go to this apps, click on console. And once we click on console, we'll be landed up with all the options that we have. And in this, we have to click on the UI modeler. So once we click on the UI modeler, you would be navigated to this particular page. It's the same page. It's a configuration page that gets reflected on the dashboard. And any administrator should be able to do this for any given tenant. Okay.
On this side.
Okay. Are there any questions?
No, you can keep going. I think
Okay.
he just was
Wow.
on mute.
First different country.
Here, I'll,
Yes, sir.
First different country.
Yes, sir.
okay,
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. No worries. So this is the configuration page, right? So let's understand what this page consists of, right? And how do we need to navigate? See, this page consists of the UI modeler, as I said. It's a dashboard page is what we are referring to. This is the profile statistic, which represents the dashboard page or the profile statistics page, right? And there are other pages as well, like individual entities can be managed. This is an existing functionality. And what we have as a part of the second module is the import export UI configuration. I will come to this as a part of my second demo, right? So let's focus on what is there here, right? So this is the profile statistics. On profile statistic, most of the things are configured here as a part of the tenant. But when you get a brand new tenant at that particular point in time, these are the 3 predefined charts that you would be getting. So this is the profile stat view. What does this tell? Is it just shows us what are the different profile stats. That means how many entities are created, how many are deleted, merged, unmerged, and all that. The second thing is the saved searches. The saved searches consist of anything when a data stewards or a user kinds of frequently does a search and they wanted to understand how the search result looks like. They can use the saved search wizard. And the last thing is the notification inbox. Notification inbox, again, like it's a workflow related stuff where customers can any kind of changes, approval, rejections towards the change of an profile, update of an profile, or any kind of deletion or potential match reviews. So these are the things the notification will come up here. So these are all predefined. But apart from that, like these are all predefined, but customer has need for doing multiple stuff, right? So we support, as I said, like 12 different charts. They are like the line chart, the bar chart, the bubble chart. The bubble chart is what we'll be using it today. I will show you a demo of how this bubble chart can be used from the scratch, how it can be built, and how it would be reflected in your dashboard.
Hey, Girish, quick
Yep.
question, and I'm not sure if you'll know this, but will the new data quality dashboard be added for customization to this?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the data quality dashboards can be added. It's just that customer need to add this. Like I'm showing one of the data quality demo itself here, right? So like, let's assume we wanted to verify how many profiles are the addresses are invalid. We can try to build that dashboard using this capability.
Yeah, and just so you know what type of admin, it's role_admin_customer role will also have the ability to change the configuration. So that was one of the questions asked. So keep going.
Yes, they can change it. When I say admin roles, it is basically role_admin can do it, role_admin tenant can do it, role_admin customers can do it.
Oh, good clarification. Thank you.
So yeah, I was on this particular chart. So other charts that we support are the donuts. Then the map is basically to visualize from a different map representative. So here by default, it's a world map, but it can be customized for US or country specific too. So we have the tree map or a tree chart, a table chart, a cloud tags, a custom charts if there are any. This is entities by type views and the filtered entity views. So these are all what we support as of today. So let me go back to the dashboard to understand what are the different capabilities that we offer here, right? So first thing, as we told, like it is a vivid views or vivid colors. So as you see all the colors over here. And next thing is it is more enhanced where we, in the current view, if you just hover over the profile stats, we should be able to see what are the updates here, like how many new profiles created, what are the updates and all that, right? In the same way, what are the other capabilities? So anything and everything, like let's assume we are on a particular page where we say, okay, this page where we have updated something and we wanted to see a refreshed data. So what we can do is there is a tab over here. There are 3 buttons. One is refresh, one is full screen, and a remove. We can just click on refresh and it refreshes data for us, right? So this is as simple. And the second thing, as I said, like everything in here is all personalized for a given user. So what does that mean? Let's assume for my role, I am least bothered about the potential matches, because that is something that I never do, right? So earlier in our classic dashboard, what used to happen is, irrespective of whether you like it or not, you used to see those pages. But as a part of the new enhancement or the new self-service feature, every user can kind of customize it. No need to raise any support ticket here. So it is just right click on any of the facet that you don't like, and you can simply remove it. It is as simple as it, right? So let's assume organizations by state. I don't like it, I remove it. But let's assume, oh, you just accidentally removed something, you wanted it back, right? So in that particular perspective, there is a button over here, which is add remove charts, which is kind of, you can just click on this. All the charts that have been configured, where it in the UI modeler, whoever has the configurators have configured these charts, all these will be available here. So as a part of the end user, what you can do is, okay, I just removed the organization one, right? Organization by state or anything, like let's assume, the potential matches we removed. So I will just add that potential matches. What it does is it goes and sits on the bottom. So here it is, the potential match got added. So based on your preference, wherever you want, based on your need, you can just reshuffle it and place it wherever you want. So this is as simple as what it can be. So these are the different facets that that has been already configured. And let me explore or show one other feature. That means, let's assume we are on this particular page where we are trying to do an activity logs. We are searching for an activity log, but it's a small screen and you wanted to work on it. So the simple stuff is make it a full screen, do work on it, whatever it has, all the features, what it was supported in the classic view, like exporting the stuff, filtering of the data and all that. And once you're done, you can simply exit the full screen. So this applies to each and every screen, irrespective of what it is. Right. So this is what the capability is. So let me jump to a demo now, and let's try to build a graph or a kind of a chart from the scratch.
Hey, Girish, quick question. So can we have common dashboards for particular teams? So for example, like sales or IT or some other part of the business?
Yes, that is possible. Like as I said, like common everything, whatever we have it in the UI dashboard is visible for the user. If user wants it, he can drag and drop. That is one feature. As I said, like let's assume you don't want customer to even see that. Like let's assume you are in a sales team and you don't want sales team to see some set of dashboards. If that is the scenario, what we need to do here is in the UI modeler, we have role capabilities. You need to set a particular role for that particular facet to be visible. In the demo, I can just show you where that is, what kind of role is that and where we set it, so that it's all customized based on the roles. So a team A will be able to see a dashboard, whereas team B will not be able to see the dashboard. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. Erin asked a question. So she said she's interested in saving particular queries that would be on the main dashboard page each time they log in. Is that possible? And looks like Sushant might have answered that, but. And Sushant says, save searches can be added to dashboards, so it's possible even now. So it's a predefined chart. So I think that answers it. Aaron, if that doesn't answer, let me know. Perfect. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, and just to add to it, this is the page that Sushant was referring. It is the saved searches. So we can use this particular feature, like it is already available on the dashboard. Whatever the filter we have added, we can add that filter and use this particular dashboard to see those data over here. So that feature was already available. It's just that you can customize it now. Okay, so coming to the demo. Okay, we are on this profile statistics page. Let me take this to the other screen. Okay. Okay, we are on the profile statistics page. So let's try to build a graph or a chart from the scratch. So the requirement that I am planning to execute here is I wanted to understand for a given entity type, let's say an organization entity type, right? So for an organization entity type, I wanted to verify how many addresses are unverified. So as we know, like addresses can be verified and different other statuses or status that we have, but I wanted to pinpoint how many unverified addresses are there, and I want to group them by the state. So let's assume for Missouri there are 2, but let's see it by all the states, not just by Missouri, but for every state. So let's build that kind of graph in the dashboard. Again, this is a self-service capability. No need to raise any support tickets, and any configurator should be able to directly log in and do this kind of like building of these graphs or dashboards. Right? So let's first select what kind of chart that we wanted to use. So here I'm selecting a bubble chart, and as I drag and drop it, so let me just align it where I wanted it to be. So I wanted it to be here. So I will put this right below the profile statistic. I wanted to expand it and make it here. So this is my chart. The first thing that we have to do is, as again, like here, like these are the 12 different types of chart that we support. First thing is the title. So let's name this as unverified address by states, right? So this is my title. It can be anything. Next thing is I need to select the data. Here I'm planning to use it for an organization entity type. So I select the organization. The next thing is an attribute. So as I wanted to filter out only for invalid or unverified addresses. So let's look for this. I mean, here is the first thing is the attributes. I wanted to have this by state. So let me first select the state here. So this is the state that I wanted to get displayed in the bubble chart. The second thing, I wanted to filter it by the status. So I will type in status, which is a verification status, and verification status equal to unverified. So this is a simple filter. So here we are able to filter this, right? So I will remove the second filter condition. So it's just one filter condition. It is verified status equal to unverified. So what would happen? The bubble chart is built up on the state and it is filtered by unverified one. So based on the business requirement, based on the need, you can build your own charts. I'm just showing a demo. And there was a question on how this can be viewed by some team and not by the other team. The answer is this. Here we support the roles. So there are different sets of roles. Let's assume you wanted sales to see a chart, this chart, whereas for marketing, you don't want to see it. So you need to define a particular role, and that role need to be assigned to those particular group of users or the team. So here you can select the role that you have defined, but as a part of this demo, I'm not planning to use any of these roles. So next thing is the style. It's just that being used. And it can add this count. And next thing is the sort. It can be sorted descending or ascending. And the last thing what we have as a part of this option is show legend. So what does show legend means is when we build a chart, it will just show us a legend right here. I'm hovering it over the screen. Like it just shows like which state are we talking about? The color belongs to what? This green color belongs to what state? So that is the legend that we talk about. So I will enable this. This is as simple configuration that it can be. So next, what we can do here is once this is done, it is simple that we can publish this, right? So again, while publishing, you can just click on publish, and there are two options that we see. One option is publish, and second option is publish as. Publish is an option to publish it to the current tenant, whatever the current tenant you have logged in. Whereas publish as is to publish it to any different tenant, because whatever access you have, you will get a list of all the tenants, you can publish it. So what does that mean? Let's assume I have everything in place, I verified it, the states and all the dashboard looks good. So now I wanted to publish it from the dev tenant to a test tenant, or from a test tenant to a prod tenant. So directly it can be published to a different tenant as well. The same configuration gets applied to a different tenant. So this is the publish button. I'll just click on publish. It just takes time to get published into it. In the meantime, let's review what we have. Again, this is the same dashboard what we have published in this particular module, in this particular tab. So apart from that, what we have in this particular page, as I said, like these are all the existing features where we have a profile page where we can see this is for a particular entity type. Like let's assume if we have HCO or HCP as an entity type, in this particular page, you have all the possible options. Like this is an existing feature where we have, when we click on any of the entity type, we have all the options where we have properties to select like what to display, what not to display in the for the end users. Like you want a relationship tab or not, you want a graph tab or not, a potential tab or not. All these can be configured via the UI modeler.
Hey, Girish, a quick question for you. Would there be a way for customers to downloading the profile statistics in like a file format? So, like a CSV, Excel, text, etc., or be the use of some API to view statistics in Postman?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because these things come directly from our search engines. I mean, there are different APIs, but it needs to be built up. I mean, it's basically a query, API query that the customer need to build up, saying, but it's not readily available. So to answer it, like it's not that there is a simple API which can do that work. It's kind of a custom thing. That's the reason it has been predefined already as a part of this.
Thanks, Girish. And Sushan also says at this point, there's no way for download the statistics to a file. You can get the data via APIs or a combination of APIs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So now as you see this data, like what we were talking about, this particular chart has already been published. So next thing is let's log in. Let's see this particular page. How does that particular graph looks like? So now I am on this particular page. And since we have published it, we just need to refresh this page. I'm refreshing the page now. Okay, boom. So here you go. So it is as simple as you see. I just picked it just below the profile statistics page, and here we are. So this is what the chart looks like. So we can verify the chart. It can be refreshed. Let's assume we tried to modify something and we corrected the data. It can just be refreshed so that it will show us the accurate data. And next thing I was talking about the legends. If you enable that particular checkbox over there, it would display this. If not, it would not display. So it's just that it says, okay, green one is California. And also the good part is it's interactive. It's not just that a static page here, it is interactive. So what does that mean? I can just click on any of the pages over here or the chart or the bubbles over here to navigate. Let's assume I wanted to look for a Missouri one, right? So I will click on this bubble and it just navigates to me with the filter conditions and it shows me the data. So as it was showing us, like there were two profiles and these two profiles are available here. So this is what the chart looks like, and it is this simple to implement. Again, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. No support tickets are required for enabling this. All this feature is readily available starting from 21.3 and customer can use it. Only thing is these features are available in the new dashboard. So the way to navigate, I have already shown it. It's just that the manage view preference and you need to click this particular new view. And then you would land up on this particular page where all these features are readily available. So no support tickets are required. So this is what I wanted to cover as a part of the first part of the demo. Let me know if there are any questions.
There's one, and thanks for doing this. Can you speak on how this dashboard or analytics is tied to the new GBQ where you have default views created? So any dependencies between?
I mean, there is no dependency on the GBQ there. This particularly works from Elasticsearch. So this the complete, it's a React-based UI technology that we have used here. but it pulls the data from, it doesn't pull the data. I mean, Sushant can correct me here. So it pulls the data from our secondary storages like the search.
So I think a key thing to note here is that there is no dependencies. This is one visualization. Reltio reporting that works on top of GPQ is a different set of visualization and pre-built charts. One key difference is that this dashboard that Girish is sharing is included in your Reltio license, is available to everyone to use. Whereas GPQ-based Reltio reporting is something that's of an add-on, right? So there are no dependencies between them, but these are two separate dashboard solutions or reporting solutions built in different ways and offered in different ways. So that's what I'm saying.
Great, thanks for the clarification. What about custom entity types and default facets availability in here?
Sushant, you want to take that?
Yeah, custom entity types does not matter. As you can see, right, even in this example, right, whether it's Reltio delivered entity type or something that you have created, you can go ahead and create your own entity types in data model and still use them in chart and use default facets on those custom entity types. So there are no limitations as such.
That's great. Any other questions? Is it so? Yeah, there is one question. Is it primarily based on search? Sushant?
So it is, I would say, not primarily based on search. It's based. So our search engine as well as our dashboard engine works on the same index, basically. So it is maybe same set of APIs, but it's not based on search as such.
Great. Girish, is that it, or did you want to show a few other things?
Yeah, that was the first part of the demo. I would like to show the second part. It's a quick one. It's again a new feature that has been added, which most of our customers are unaware. So just wanted to bring that one as well. So let me show this one. So this is the second part of today's show, which is the UI modeler import export UI configuration. So firstly, what is this UI configurations, right? So everything that we see in the UI is some kind of configurations, and those configuration in the earlier, before the release, before the 2021 or 22 release, we were not, I mean, customers were never able to access these files directly. So the way around was, customer used to raise a support ticket, support engineer used to send these particular files to the customer, and then customer used to modify these files based on the requirement. Then they need to send that file to us, and then it would be uploaded back onto the repositories. So that was a long process, and that has been shortened where it is completely self-service. Again, this feature, it's already in place. No need to raise any tickets for this. It's as simple as navigating to a UI modeler and then exporting that particular file and importing it back. So it is completely flawless, and the customer can do it themselves. So as a highlight, it's a self-service capability. The changes will be reflected immediately. No need to raise any support ticket, and this can be propagated or moved to a different, basically a different tenants as well. So let us do a quick demo so that it's clear on how this can be done. So I'm on this particular page. As I said, like again, the same navigation, going to the UI modeler, import, export UI config. So these, all the set of different files that we support are available here. So every configurator or the administrator will have access to this. And what they can do, let's assume a simple thing is like com.reltio plugin.entity.json. It's a JSON file which impacts all the entity data type or entities basically. So irrespective of how many entities we have, the basic configuration of all these entities has been stored here. So what we can do for downloading any file is as simple as just clicking on this and then hitting on this export button, which kind of exports the file into a particular directory. So I have a file already in place. So let me just delete that file for benefit of all. So, okay, so here I go. So I'm exporting that file. So this is the download location. I export this particular file. Let's open up that particular file. So here it is. It has all the configuration with regards to the entities. Anything and everything can be changed from the configuration perspective, provided we understand how that configuration has been applied, right? And for the benefit of this demo, show entity. This is a simple parameter which kinds of enables or disables how the entity looks like, or do we show the entity ID in a profile or not. So for example, this is an entity. If you have seen the screen before, like there would sometimes you would be seeing a particular entity ID here, right? Just beside the name of the label for an entity ID or entity type. So this has been set to false. As a result, you are not seeing anything. If we set this to true, right? Okay, if we set this to true, then this particular thing would be visible. So I have made the changes, whatever the changes based on the need, it can be made. The file just need to be saved, and coming back to the UI modeler again, right? So this particular thing, I just modified it. So what we can do is I'm importing it back. Click on that, click on the browser, browse the file, and then it's an entity, the file that we changed. And once it is loaded, it's just that you can even drag and drop, but I selected it from the browser. Click on continue. For benefits of all, I mean, it just shows us the comparison between the two configurations. What is the current configuration, what we have imported currently. And as we know, we just changed one parameter from false to true. That is what gets highlighted so that you can verify. And other recommendation or suggestion from Reltio's end is always whenever you do any changes, make sure you have a backup of your original file, just in case the changes does not reflect or the changes leads to an error, you can anytime revert it back. So once this is done, you just have to replace it. So there is a warning here or a alert message which says replace file confirmation. You are about to replace the current configuration with another file. Please make sure to publish these changes. So what is happening is, okay, I will click on OK for this. So now what we have done is we have edited it, but we have seen few customers. Now we come back to the UI screen and they don't see the changes. The reason being this is not yet published. So what we have done so far is only edited it. So the next step here is to publish it. Again, publish has the same two options. I'm just clicking on the publish. Ideally, this would take time to publish and see the result, but this is how it works. So coming back, so this is what I wanted to cover as a part of the simple export import UI configuration service. So it's just that we change something and it gets reflected. So as a part of this demo, I mean, the last part is like I wanted to showcase here was this, the other capabilities what we have. It's just that not about just one file, you can select multiple files as a part of this. And the second part is it's basically when you click on any of these files, whatever you have updated, you should be able to see the last update modified date, modified by and the modified date. This is what has been newly added, the import export capability for the UI config. So this is what I wanted to cover as a part of this demo. There is only one thing about the user personalization that I kind of skipped it in the previous segment. As I mentioned, like these are all customized for a given user, right? So what does that mean? Let me explain. Like let's say I remove this notification, I remove this particular potential match tab, and this is only for one particular user. This is Girish Kalburgi, right? So let's assume I log off from here, and okay, for me this page is more critical. So what I do is I will keep it in the middle, or I can change it on the top, right? So based on the need, right? So once I do it, it's already persisted. So what does that mean is it is persisted for the given user. So irrespective, the different user will be seeing their own dashboards based on how they have done it, and it doesn't go when you log out. So let's assume I log out for today and I log back in tomorrow again, right? So we have made those changes, and those changes will still be persisted for a given user. So just refreshing the page. See, yeah, as you see, it is already persisted. The data is already in. So this is how this particular page works, right? So everything, whatever you do, gets persisted, it gets remembered by the system, and it's at the user level, not at anything at the tenant level or something. It's user specific. So whatever changes you do here on this particular dashboard screen, it's all user specific. So this is what I wanted to cover as a part of today's demo. If there are any questions, feel free to ask it. And just one other thing, the last time when I showed that we were kind of publishing this, it has been published now. And as you see, the previous screen was not showing up anything in the entity ID. Now this particular entity ID has been showed up. So what does that mean? Is whatever profile UI config changes that we just did, it was not at a particular organization level or an entity type level. It was for all the entities, right? So that changes are directly reflected, and it's reflected in the UI. Okay, so with that, I have covered what I wanted to cover as a part of today's presentation. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Girish, great job and very helpful, and really appreciate you coming on. There are no questions as of now. But if there are other questions, you can either put them now in the chat and or push them out to the Reltio community, community.reltio.com. Our next show will be next Tuesday. I'll be sending out invites to that show after this show. So, Girish, thank you so much. I'm going to stay on just a minute or two, and everyone else, thank you so much for coming. If there are other shows that you're interested in us kind of hosting, please let me know. And by the way, I am looking for leaders in the MDM space to, like yourself, to host shows in the future. So get with me at chris.detzel@reltio.com to do that. But anyways, thank you, Girish. This was great. Really do appreciate it.